Playing as a fighter in D&D tends to be repetitive in combat. You mostly attack with your weapon or sometimes attack more times than you usually can. And while that can still be fun, I think it can be made funner by bringing your character's motivations into the heat of battle. Because today we'll be talking about the Machine Heart subclass. This is my homebrew creation that turns your passion into strength, as long as it doesn't burn you out from the inside first. Howdy folks, and thank you for being here, and welcome to My Wife Is VMC. I'm DMV and I've been running and designing D&D homebrew for 10 years. In this video, we'll create a new Machine Heart character complete with a sample backstory. Then we'll look at its core features, how you use them, and how they make your combat turns a lot more engaging. This subclass is inspired by Kamen Rider Grease, aka Sawatari Kazumi, the potato farmer turned Kamen Rider. But don't worry, even if you're not familiar with the character, the subclass's flavor text isn't tied to any particular setting, so I'm sure you can create some pretty cool characters out of this. Speaking of which, let's take pop culture to pen and paper with today's Husbando Homebrew, the Machine Heart. For this video, let's make a level 8 fighter with the unarmed fighting feat. In the series, Sawatari Kazumi is literally a farmer, so we'll take that background along with the human species. For feats, let's take Savage Attacker from Human, while the rest of your ASIs go to Strength and Charisma. But a character isn't much fun to play without a cool backstory, so let's see what we can work with. The character concept of the Machine Heart is a fighter who mixes the mechanical precision of the lawful planes with the raw and chaotic power of their emotions. While I did write quote-unquote lawful planes, it's meant to be any source of power that operates on law and order, even non-magical ones like a military force. So what are some quick character concepts you can make out of this? How about a warforged built-in mechanist that gained emotions? Or an illithid outcast who merged the strength of their independence with the lingering hive mind connection? Side note, apparently there are martial illithids called illithid body tamers who focus on martial mastery. They're basically Psy warriors with tentacles. For this video though, let's make a grounded backstory for our Machine Heart character. Sawatari Kazumi is walking away from a silent battlefield, the aftermath of a border skirmish littered with fallen soldiers from the enemy region. He should feel relieved, but he doesn't. The enemy cavalry arrives too late, just as it always does. He exhales and looks ahead, already moving towards the next fight. Life was much simpler a decade ago. Kazumi was just a simple landowner who worked the fields alongside farmers who had become his family. His worries were simple: the soil, the weather, the harvest. Then, the outsider arrived. The epicenter of the entity's invasion was far from his region, but the devastation that led to the fracturing of the nation into 3 landmasses was felt everywhere. Peaceful nations became bitter enemies in the span of days, as the disparate nations fought for dwindling resources. While Kazumi wanted no part in the war, he needed to protect his people. Because his farm, unfortunately, was one of the last fertile lands in this fractured nation, and was a prime target for occupation. But rather than risk the lives of his people, he instead stepped forward for the government's draft. He let them experiment on him, turning his body into something more than human. The golden champion of his homeland, a warrior, a weapon. This was worth it, he'd tell himself. But he knows he's a fool for thinking his fight would eventually end, because as long as the outsider stays in power, this war will rage on for that sick entity's entertainment. Until then, however, he has a farm to protect. Welcome to the action cam! We've got the Machine Heart Sawatari Kazumi versus a squad of 4 enemy soldiers. 2 soldiers are within 30 feet of him, while the commander and 1 other soldier stays in the back at 40 feet away. Now, one of the core features of the Machine Heart is Aspect of the Machine. This grants a bunch of buffs and bonuses like an AC bonus and an unarmed strike buff. But you don't want to get caught with your pants down while the DM starts to throw dice, so as part of rolling initiative, you manifest your machine aspect. This interacts with your other core features, and we'll get to that real quick. For now, here's the initiative order. 2 soldiers immediately flank Kazumi and attack him with their bayonets. One was too scared to even swing after seeing their fallen comrades, but the other powers through the fear and scrapes against Kazumi's golden armor. You might have noticed a meter there called Passion.
More passion, more passion.
This is the other core feature of this subclass, and we'll tackle its ins and outs in a bit. What's relevant here, however, is the Machine Heart's level 7 feature called Temperance, which grants 1 passion whenever you take damage. Since Kazumi is level 8, he can hold a max of 6 passion. Keep track of that number for me. Passion is something you need to be on top of, because it grants various bonuses the more of it you have. It's now Kazumi's turn, and so he will retaliate in kind. Kazumi's unarmed fighting feat for 1d8 plus the Machine Heart's unarmed improvement bonus of 1d4 makes for an impressive 10 bludgeoning damage on a single unarmed strike. That quick backhanded blow was enough to dispatch the cowardly soldier. If you notice, the passion meter comes into play again. He gained 2 when he attacked and another 1 when he hit. He's at 4 passion now. While he's within the limit of passion he can hold, going above the halfway point already puts him above his passion threshold. And this is where the fun begins. Kazumi hits the other soldier with a 15, and the Machine Aspect's unarmed strike bonus turns that 1d4 into 1d6 since Kazumi is now above his passion threshold. Also, did you notice that attack bonus changing from +8 to +9? That's cause at 3 points above his passion threshold, he gets a +1 bonus to his attack rolls. The second soldier was about to defend against Kazumi's strike, but the farmer turned soldier is now fired up, breaking through their defenses and knocking them out cold. Kazumi sees the other 2 soldiers about to make a hasty retreat. Regular fighters normally have trouble catching up at this distance, but the Machine Heart fighters gain more bonuses the higher they are above their passion threshold.
More footwork, more footwork, more footwork.
At 2 points above his threshold, he gets a speed buff, letting him reach the 2 soldiers before they could escape. Panicked as they may be, the remaining soldiers flank Kazumi to try and take him down. The commander makes 3 attacks, while the subordinate makes 2. Kazumi was not expecting the desperation after taking 1 too many hits from the commanding officer. He's also at his maximum capacity for passion, so taking that damage offers little benefit. As fired up as he is, however, the engine that powers his machine aspect is causing friction with his burning passion. While it grants him incredible power, the contrasting energies ultimately eat away at him. So at the start of his turn, he takes necrotic damage equal to 1d6 plus twice the number of passion he has above his threshold. Kazumi doesn't want to drag on this fight any longer than he has to. As a bonus action, he uses Machine Overclock. This is the D&D equivalent to a rider kick, and for the Machine Heart, it uses all of Kazumi's passion
More energy, more energy. Oi, oi.
to charge it up into one powerful explosive attack. While his offensive bonuses disappear, this does grant him several defensive bonuses like a +3 to ability checks, a +1 to his AC, and a +6 to his saving throws. Not that he'll need them after this. With all the power of his passion burning in his body, he makes one powerful strike at the commander. As his strike connects, he releases all of that condensed power into destructive energy that emanates from him in a 10-foot area. This forces the 2 soldiers to make a dex saving throw against Kazumi's charisma-based DC of 16. As the dust settles from that explosive attack, the remaining soldiers lie unconscious on the ground. Kazumi lets out a slow breath, willing his armor to vanish. The battle may be over, but this hollow victory does nothing but prolong this pointless conflict. While he didn't finish that fight unscathed, he still has enough energy to spare in case there are more unruly neighbors wanting to pick a fight. Sure enough, as he surveys the battlefield, a figure steps forward from the shadows. Unlike the battered soldiers, this one stands gleaming and untouched by battle. Their red and blue armor is a stark contrast against the mud and blood of war. While Kazumi was expecting another fight, this foreign champion instead wanted to talk. He doesn't trust this person, but maybe, just maybe, this is the start of something that can change the poor state of this fractured nation. Managing your passion is the heart of this subclass, and at every turn you have to make a choice. Push forward for power or hold back to survive. I get that self-damage mechanics can seem intimidating, but look beyond the numbers and you'll find a system that fuels high-risk, high-reward gameplay that makes for some incredible RP moments. If the passion mechanic feels familiar, that's because I built this on the same foundation as the Thermal Strife, which is a sorcerer subclass inspired by Hiroaka's Todoroki Shoto. Both are about balance. But while the Thermal Strife is about control and synergy, Machine Heart is about pushing yourself past your limits at any cost and going even further beyond. Wait, what? You can find the Machine Heart linked in the description, but if you want a bunch of other subclass options and even systems for only $5, you can do so by joining our Ko-Fi or Patreon memberships. The $5 tier even gives you early access perks and exclusive stuff like a subclass based on Kazuma from Scride. And of course, you get to be part of the Mallard crew that you see on screen right now. MC, who do we give our special thanks to?
Hello! It is I, the Mallard Queen. And special thanks to these Mallard Royal Guards protecting our kingdom. Storm Starshine, KV, Coin Up 1989, Piku, and Cosplay Battle. And a very warm thank you to the first Mallard Nobility, Hectic Planet 07 Minecraft Real Life Gaming. Commissions are coming soon and you get one for free, Hectic Planet. Thank you for supporting the channel, everybody.
Yup, you heard that right. I'll be opening up a few commission slots soon. Discord is also in the works for all members, so look out for that. By the way, have you played Monster Hunter Wilds recently? My goodness, that is a time vacuum. Speaking of which, if you want to bring Monster Hunter to your D&D table, you can check out our subclass right here. Until then, my wife and I hope you have a great day ahead.